Imposter syndrome. You may have experienced it. It feels like it's hard to breathe. But I have a new way for you to think about imposter syndrome. And it's actually a really good thing. Stay tuned and I'll share why. Imposter syndrome. Two words that are synonymous with dread, fear, not feeling good enough. I want to challenge you. What if imposter syndrome might just be one of the best things that ever happened to you? By the time we finish chatting today, you are going to love and embrace imposter syndrome. Now, let's talk for a moment about why imposter syndrome happens. Imposter syndrome happens when you find yourself in a space that's unfamiliar. It might be in a new job. It could be taking on a new role. It could be in a location you've never been before. Suddenly, you're in a place that is completely unfamiliar. Yeah, it sounds kind of scary, but think about all of the things leading up to that point. Were you excited about that new role? Were you thrilled about the promotion? Had you been looking forward to this move to a new location for years? So why, when you go into that new situation, is it suddenly filled with regret and fear and dread? The reality is imposter syndrome is just your body and mind recognizing that you're in a new environment, one that is honestly probably great. I imagine so many people who hit their first stage, maybe a singer or a dancer, the very first time that they fill an auditorium. Do you think it's comfortable? Or do you think they experience imposter syndrome as well? Or even potentially Oprah or Tony Robbins, the very first time that they filmed a TV show, an infomercial, the first time they had a sold out crowd. Do you think that was normal to them? No. The reality is imposter syndrome should actually be celebrated because it means that you gave yourself a promotion into a new environment. It means that you have a new opportunity in front of you just waiting to be captured. It's actually a very, very exciting thing. And as we think about all of the people who have probably experienced imposter syndrome before us, there's almost some celebration to be had. Many of the most successful people have begun to embrace the fact that they will never again be comfortable. The reality is that imposter syndrome means you're leaving your comfort zone behind. And once you start to embrace, once you start to become comfortable with the fact that you will never become comfortable again, imposter syndrome is a thing of the past. And suddenly, the challenges that arise won't scare you the way that they once did. When I started to embrace imposter syndrome and instead recognize that I was giving myself a promotion in life, suddenly it wasn't as scary. Getting on stage in front of 3,500 people was a piece of cake. Suddenly podcast interviews with big names didn't scare me the way that they once did. Writing a book, joining a summit, all of these things that once would have filled me with terror and imposter syndrome were things that were worthy of celebration. I stepped outside of my comfort zone, or even better, I redefined my comfort zone. Comfort zone should be considered dangerous territory. Instead, imposter syndrome is where you want to live because it means you're 2 steps ahead of the comfort zone. There was an amazing book that I read called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And in this book, he talks about how we as humans are programmed to stay comfortable. When something starts to get different, uncomfortable, maybe it's a new temperature, a new situation, something we haven't experienced before, we're prone to self-sabotage. It's a part of our monkey brain, ultimately, that tells you to stay safe and crawl back into that comfort zone, essentially crawl back into that cave. We know it's safe there. There aren't predators. But we aren't cavemen anymore. We aren't monkeys. The truth is, it is scary to think about what is outside of the comfort zone. But the good news is, it's not as scary as it used to be when our monkey brains were programmed for survival. Now they're programmed for comfort. So you can step outside of your comfort zone without getting scared of being attacked by a wild animal. Instead, what you can do is recognize that the only fear that you have is the fear within. So my question to you is this: Are you going to avoid imposter syndrome for the rest of your life and stay in exactly the same situation and scenario you're in for the rest of your life? Or are you going to step outside of that comfort zone, that cave that was designed to protect you, but now holds you back, and take on all of the dreams that you were meant to fulfill? I challenge you to accept the latter. Take on the challenge. Embrace discomfort. And if you need a little bit of support along the way, I've created an awesome mindset manifesto. You can go ahead and click the link below to grab access to that. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and tell me what blew your mind. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'll see you later.